Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be taking a look at a new ESC that just came out. It's from Exuav. Now this kind of reminds me of the DYS Aria. I think it's some sort of the same manufacturer. So I have somewhat of high hopes for this one. So let's just quickly go over some of the specs, dimensions, and run into the testing without wasting any time. So you do get silicone wires, as you can tell here. Filtration seems to be pretty good. Let's just zoom in here a little bit. Hopefully the camera could focus that zoomed in. The filtration is just right there. 2, 4, 5, 6 caps in total for filtration. They're not very big caps, so hopefully we'll see how that performs. You do have a telemetry pad, you have an LED, you do have a current sensor, a shunt resistor, so you have current reading, so you could set up current limiting. And this is a BL32 ESC. It takes 2 to 5S LiPo. Now it's rated for 35 amps, and they're saying 50 amp burst up to 10 seconds, which means they probably have some pretty decent MOSFETs on board. So it is a pretty big guy here, and it does come with the DYS style plastic ESC protectors. Here, as you can see, you could just wrap it in there. And that's all it comes with. It comes pre-made, pretty ready. So let's go ahead and get the caliper here, and let's just start seeing its dimensions here. Alright, so what I'm going to do, let's do the width first. The width is 17.5 millimeters. And if we do length here, we have 33 millimeters. Alright, and if we take height, we have, take the highest points here. Around 7.2 millimeters. So the highest point 7.2 millimeters. They do have a nice fat heat sink right there, which is very nice to see. And like I mentioned, you got LED current reading, and you pretty much got everything you'd want in a BL32. It's pretty expensive. It's around 17 bucks. It's close to the Tico and the what is it? The HGLRC T-Rex. And we're gonna compare it against the HGLRC T-Rex since they're in the same price point. So enough talking, and let's get testing. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and check out the results here. Now what I'm doing is I'm comparing it next to the Emax formula, and just to get an idea of what's really going on, because this is a pretty expensive ESC. And let's just see what we come up with here. So on the left two graphs here, we have the Emax formula. On the right we have the Exuav, which is the one that we just tested on the right side. Let's start with the throttle noise. Now as you can tell here, both graphs kind of look alike, and if you're new here, this is what this means. This right here is 10% throttle noise. This is 25% throttle noise, 50% throttle noise, 75% throttle, and 100% throttle noise. So that's all good and done. Both of these same thing. Here it's a custom coded maneuver, hard maneuver, tricks to enable us to generate as much noise as possible, and seeing how much bad voltage spikes can, just go straight into the system, give you a bad video feed, burn out some components, pop a cap, pop some resistor, and this is the whole idea of this top one here. Now, let's go ahead and start with the throttle noise down here. Now, as you can tell here that the Emax formula actually did quite a lot better, and I think it's actually even cheaper. So that's a first not very good sign, I might say. The motor did not sound as smooth as the Emax formula, I can guarantee you that. It sounded decent, but not like noticeably smooth like I do with, like I did with the Emax formula here. So far it's just an ESC that's a little bit too expensive, but don't forget it has all the features, and overall it should handle larger motors here. This is the idea, but the larger the motor, the more noise will be introduced. Now let's go take a look up here. Now we had a voltage spike of 32.4 volts on the Exuav, which is here at the top right, and that's not very good. That is not very good at all. I do not like seeing that. That's a lot of current. That's it's kind of like an engine backfiring in a way. What's going on is a lot of voltage, a lot of amperage is getting pushed back into the system. Sometimes your video feed is clean because of the regulators, but other components that you don't see are getting affected. Gyros, the microcontroller unit, and all kinds of other things which can create problems, jitters, yaw twitches, and stuff you really want to try to avoid. Because now, Betaflight is, the newer the Betaflight you put on noisier ESCs, you're going to end up with a lot of problems, because I've been seeing it a lot lately, and a lot of people are emailing me. Oh, after I updated, the quad just flies absolutely terrible. but then I go put butterfly, and holy crap, it flies beautiful. So take that into consideration here. This is very important. So this is not a very good one on my scale, and especially for the price, because the next ESC I'm going to be showing you, I'm not going to show you right here, it's going to be the next episode, you're going to be hella surprised for something pretty cheap of how the hell it performed, which it just dropped my jaw. I'm not going to tell you which one it is, but we'll get into that later on. Now, as you can tell here, the Emax formula obviously did better. What you want to see is minimum, you don't want to see huge spikes. Huge spikes are the bad thing that you really don't want in your system. You want to see it kind of be somewhat just reasonably okay, stable. This is reasonably okay. This is an average ESC test here on the Emax formula, which is okay. It's very nice. It could cause problem, but rarely could cause problem. Low ESR capacitor would fix this. Low ESR capacitor would fix that too, but overall, this is just very scary. It's really, I don't know what's going on here. So yeah, this one is a little bit too noisy for my taste. I'm just gonna leave it at that. You decide for yourself. Here's the data. Even on 75% throttle, that is where most ESCs have the most amount of noise. Between, I think it was 65 and 85% throttle is the most noisiest. That's why when you say, oh, I'm getting mid throttle oscillations even though I have low D, this is why. This is where that's coming from, because this is midpoint right here. You see that? That's 50% throttle, and this is up. And once you hit full throttle, it kind of calms down sometimes. Sometimes it won't. But that whole range right there is what is causing that. Most likely, there could be other causes, but more likely it's due to the noise from the ESCs, which is what I was talking about. Jumping and touching, just pushing through the regulators and making its way down to the gyro, and just slaps it here and there and makes it twitch. That's the way it kind of really works sometimes. Now, to see these in more details and just some extra stuff that I'm going to be posting, go ahead and check out my application. I just created it. It has some awesome things. I'm selling some of my stuff for absolutely cheap. Not only that, I'm getting some nice coupons from top brands and top shops, e-shops online, to get you great components and limited deals. So it's just going to be for limited few, so just keep monitoring it. And also I'll be having the top best ESCs that I've tested so far, with some specs and some images and explaining why I think these were the best, and these kinds of things. So it's going to be a lot of great resource just in one app. You just open the app, you want to see some news, you want to go ahead and see some new specs, you want to see what's the latest. Maybe Drone Mesh just did a couple tests he didn't upload, and then there's a new good ESC that's just absolutely insane. It'll be in there. It's getting updated every 2 to 3 days, but currently right now I'm just doing a little bit of ESC testing, and I have some other things to test. But meanwhile, I am updating it regularly. And you can also check out the website, and there's a lot of awesome sales that I usually put on. And like I said, I'm working on getting the manufacturers to give us good coupons, and I'm in the progress of doing that right now. So that'll be upcoming very soon. And well, that's it, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want more information about these two ESCs, I'll leave a link down below. They are affiliated links, so if you click them, those do help the channel. And you could also use the Patreon. That would greatly support the channel, enable me to bring in more stuff like this, to make unbiased reviews as best as possible. And later on, usually end up giving them away or just selling them for like drop dead cheap. You can check the website, see how cheap I'm selling them all together. Basically, they're just opened, and I'll just give all the specs about everything, so you can go ahead and check that out. And that's gonna conclude it for this video, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. That really supports the channel. And I will see you next time. See you guys. Take care.